What's up guys, Sayed here, and Samsung's Galaxy S8 is very important because as you probably know, Samsung is in a bit of trouble. The Note 7 explosions from last summer continue to haunt the company, and Samsung's leadership is currently embroiled in a scandal that is, to put it gently, totally bananas. The company needs a big win lest it be consigned the punchline of late night talk show host. So let's stop talking about the bad times of Samsung and let's talk about the Samsung's new phone which went sale on Thursday, March 30th, costing $749. The Samsung S8 looks like the phone Samsung has been trying to build for the last few years. Its display dominates the design unlike any other device available, and our integration of Bixby, its newly acquired AI assistant, lets Samsung compete with Google and Apple in a new way. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. Samsung has everything but modded the bezel and it looks great. Aspect ratios seem to be the rage this year for smartphone companies. First, LG announced the G6 with its bizarre 21:9 aspect ratio, and now Samsung has the S8 and S8 Plus with their 18.5:9 ratio. That's just a little wider than the traditional 16:9 when you're holding it in a landscape orientation. The extra width all comes out of the bezel, which has basically disappeared. There's a tiny black bar at the top and the bottom of the phone. The bezel remaining at the top of the device hides the 8-megapixel front-facing camera. There's also a tiny silver bezel on the bottom. In a briefing, Samsung has proudly boasted that 83% of the front of the device is screen. While we have no idea how that extra screen is going to affect the battery life, but the effect is striking. This looks like a very pretty phone from the front. The home button is finally gone. In addition to the hacking away at the bezel, Samsung also killed the home button. If you want a dedicated little nubbin on your front of your phone you can finger blindly while it's still in your purse or pocket, then you'll need to invest it in another phone. The home button in S8 as well as the back and menu buttons are now entirely software based as they are on the Google Pixel. The color choices of the phone. Last year Samsung had a very nice looking blue phone that suggested a little color was finally creeping into the phone market. Apple even released a bright red phone this month. The new S8 will be available in the 3 colors and they're profoundly like the S7 Edge, which has the colors like midnight black, coral blue and maybe gold. The fingerprint scanner. Killing the bezel and the home button means there's no room for fingerprint scanner on the front of the S8. Rather than do away with the fingerprint scanner entirely, Samsung moved it to the button of the back of its phone. It's right next to the 12-megapixel rear camera, which means you'll probably be getting greasy finger oil all over the camera lens as you blindly try to open your phone with a tap. The S8 can also be secured with your eye iris or your face. Samsung DeX is the next computer in a phone device we have been promised since the Moto Lab dock. One of the biggest surprises today is DeX, a dock you hook up to your monitor and the keyboard that lets you turn the S8 into a tiny slick desktop computer. This is something Android phone makers have been promising us for years. Back in 2011, Motorola even launched a phone with a dock that doubled as a laptop, but that thing was a failure. It was slow and the desktop version of Android was unappealing and cheap feeling. The S8 has a super fast Snapdragon 835 processor unit, so it is in many ways faster than many of the processors found in ultra-budget Windows PCs. Samsung's S8 desktop computer experience seems very natural. You just drop the phone into the DeX dock, which uses NFC to launch to the desktop mode, no fiddling with plugging anything in. Bixby looks great on the paper. Samsung is now competing with the big boys when it comes to AI in a phone. Bixby is Samsung's answer to Apple Siri and Google's Assistant. Like those phones, Bixby can also be activated by voice or by touching an activation button. We are not sure how Bixby is compared to Siri or Assistant just yet, but we do know that it can translate 52 spoken languages. Siri does around 30. Google does not have an official estimate for how many languages Assistant translates, but it's approximately the same number as Siri. Besides acting as a kind of universal translator, Bixby can also search for things via photo, something Siri is incapable of and Assistant struggles with. It also automatically delivers any requested information via a much more attractive car than the display that pops up when using Assistant or Siri. We won't be sure how smart Bixby is until we get some more time with it, but on the paper, it appears a worth adversary to the two titans of mobile AI. Bixby recognizes photos of backpacks but doesn't know what the Samsung Galaxy S8 is. Bixby's image recognition ability appears to be pretty incredible. With a quick button press, Bixby opens up the camera and asks to be pointed at whatever needs identifying. The phone was pointed at a backpack and instantly it found bags at a similar color, but Bixby is not infallible. It was also used to get it to the look at the Samsung Galaxy S8 with the leaked images and struggled to identify itself and instead pulled up the ancient LG G2. Samsung still cares about the VR even if you don't. Well, you might have seen the ostrich wearing the VR. Haters will say that it's photoshopped. Besides announcing a new phone and a new AI, Samsung also took the time to announce some VR news. Mobile VR is where most of the VR sales are happening, so it makes sense that Samsung would continue to embrace the medium, even if most consumers really haven't. The two big updates are controller for the Oculus-powered Gear VR headset and an updated 360-degree camera. The old Gear 360 camera resembled a golf ball, but the new one looks more like a golf ball on a tee as the stand is now built in. Meanwhile, the Gear VR controller resembles another Android product, specifically Google's Daydream controller. It also seems to function like the Daydream controller. It's got a touchpad for the navigation and a trigger for blasting aliens or clicking on menus, as well as some spatial awareness. The Gear VR controller runs on Bluetooth, and Samsung claims that you will nearly get 30 to 40 days of use out of two AA batteries inside, provided you only play about 2 hours a day. The controller will ship with all the new Gear VR headsets, but Samsung promises a version sold independently for current VR owners who want to upgrade. Well, so what was the good thing? It is not the bezel-free phone, neither the Siri clone. It is the work Samsung is doing, but in the smart home space. Samsung announced a bevy of smart TVs and appliances at CES back in January, and it was really awesome. So here are the 8 things about the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a like to my video. It's me, the Android.Tech here, and I'm signing out right now. Peace.